What's up, guys? Wiggs here, and I'm here to talk to you guys about one of the most talked about topics in the gaming and entertainment worlds today, and that is the new generation of consoles. What I mean by that is the PlayStation 4 and Xbox 720 are both set to release very, very soon. As you guys may know, the consoles have been around for quite some time now. The PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 have been around for almost 7 or 8 years now, and it's time for a new generation of consoles to come out. I'm only going to be making this video talking about the Xbox 720 because the PlayStation 4, I don't really play PlayStation, but I do know the specs that are coming out for that and everything, so I'll make another video and I'll talk about all those things in another video. But since I most likely play the Xbox right now, I'm just going to go over the Xbox. So before I do that, for both PlayStation 4 and Xbox 720, and pretty much any other console coming out, they're not going to have used games anymore. So I know for a fact that if I didn't have the money to spend for a game on its release day, I'd wait a few months and I'd go to GameStop and I'd purchase that game for $30 or $40. They're going to eliminate that totally. So what you're going to need now is an activation code. And if you guys are familiar with PC, you have to actually put in your credit card information on the computer. It's on Steam. It's a little program. You put in your credit card information and it gives you an activation code, and that's how you have your game. And that's going to be the same way going for the new generations of consoles on the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox 720. So if you guys go over to your friend's house and you want to play, you're not going to be able to take the actual hard copy of a disc over there because you're not going to have one. You're going to have to lug your entire Xbox over to your friend's house to play. And for some of you guys that don't play on Xbox Live or anything like that, you're still going to have an internet connectivity, because in order to get the game at all, you're going to have to go online, obviously, on your Xbox 720 to purchase the code to play the game. So even if you don't play on live, you're still going to have an internet connectivity to do that. I personally don't like this new idea, but they say that the reason for it is because the developers are losing out on money. But I mean, in my opinion, developers get a lot of money right off the beginning of a game, the release of the game, and this is a good way to have more employment in the country, being that GameStop makes profit off of every single used game sale, because, I mean, the game has already been sold to the company that made the game in the first place, and then if someone sells it back to GameStop, and then GameStop sells it again, they're the ones making the money. So employment rates are higher. But anyway, now we're going to talk about the 720 specifically. It's rumored to have a built-in DVR, which is a digital video recorder. If you guys are familiar with TV and stuff, you can click a button, go out to eat, go to work, go to school or whatever, and your show will record. I think that's a great idea. I don't know how much footage it can record for the Xbox 720. I wouldn't say any more than 15 minutes just because of the later specs that I'm going to get into. But if you guys are like me and you like to put gameplay up on YouTube and stuff like that, and you don't have a capture card or something like that, this built-in DVR is a great idea for like a 15-minute video. So we'll see how that plays out. Let's talk about games now. My next game that I was going to purchase was going to be Grand Theft Auto 5, and that was set to come out sometime in May of 2013. They bumped that back until the end of the year, until I think it's September now that they're going to be releasing Grand Theft Auto 5. The reason that they're doing that is because Grand Theft Auto 5 was going to be made for the Xbox 360. And in order to make a game compatible with a console, you have to know the console very well and all the little tweaks and stuff like that within the console to have a game compatible with it. Now, being that the Xbox 720 is coming out very soon, they're not going to be able to just switch that around and, or they're not going to be able to just put that exact game on the Xbox 720 as they would for the 360. They're going to have to figure out the little tweaks and stuff within the Xbox 720. So that brings me to my next point. Game developers have to make games that code well with the new console, like I just mentioned. And that takes time to do, since they have to learn the ins and outs and all the small things that make the console work as well as it does. With that said, games should get progressively better. The first year or two, the games might have the same quality as games do for now. beings that right now we can only go up to, 1080p. That's probably what we're going to be looking at for the first year or two of games that come out. But after that, within like the 3 or 4 year range of this console's lifetime, the quality of games in terms of resolution, lag, and bugs and things of that nature will improve significantly as developers learn more about the console. And that's been proven over the years with the Xbox 360. If you guys remember, like, Call of Duty 4, the graphics in that compared to Call of Duty Black Ops 2, they're a lot better in Black Ops 2. Another thing I wanted to go over was the new Xbox 720 as well as the PS4 consoles. Most people, the average person, kind of just looks at those as a console and something that you can like either keep stationary and you go to your room and play, or if you really want to, you can take it to like a friend's house if you absolutely need to, and move it from like an upstairs to your room to like a downstairs to your basement. But in terms of like on a technical standpoint inside that console, these consoles that are coming out now are going to be more like a computer than ever before. In terms of the specifications. And I'm going to put those up on screen in a little bit. But first I want to talk about the most, probably one of the biggest questions that you guys are going to have for me. And that is the release date. So right now, I have 2 release dates for you guys. They are both about split halfway down the middle, 50-50, in terms of when this console is going to be released. So it could go either way. I have no idea which way it's going. But anyway, I'm here in June of 2013. We're in February now, guys. That's 4 months away. I personally don't think it's going to be that early just because of the fact that we'd be hearing more about it now. It would be released by Microsoft, things like that. It would be getting leaked, all of those things. That's just one of the reasons that I don't think it's going to be coming out. The next reason is because if they were to release it that soon, that would slow down the production and the sales of the Xbox 360, and they want to make a little bit more money right now off of that. They don't want to release this console knowing that it's not going to be that their sales of Xbox 360 isn't going to be they're not going to be profiting from the Xbox 360. The other date that I heard is the Christmas season of 2013. Now, if you guys are familiar, you're probably thinking Christmas season as in December 25th. But Christmas season to developers, especially console developers and big console developers like Microsoft and Sony, that means I'd say at the latest October and November, just because no one is going to release a console 3 days before Christmas and then expect everyone to go rush and pick it up. So that's very soon, guys. That's less than 6 months away. Well, it's actually 6 months away. My bad. But yeah, I just wanted to give you guys a little information on that. The next thing I want to go over is the specs. And right now, you're looking at an 8-core, 1.66 gigahertz processor, 8 gigabits of RAM, 800 megahertz of a graphics processor, which is the GPU, 50 gigabyte 6-time Blu-ray disc driver. And just to talk about that, Sony does get money for if the Xbox 720 puts a Blu-ray into their console. The reason being is because Sony developed Blu-ray. So even though that Xbox 720 may have more sales than the PlayStation 4, Sony's getting a cut of that money if a Blu-ray player is implemented into the console. It's going to have a gigabit Ethernet connectivity, so you're going to be able to plug an Ethernet cord in for a hardwired connection. And it's going to have a built-in wireless Ethernet, kind of like the Xbox 360 does now, like the new ones. I mean, you can just kind of set it up in your room, and if you have your computer room downstairs, and like I do, I have my computer room downstairs, and I have a router, and I have my modem downstairs, and then upstairs I have an Xbox that I watch Netflix on, and in order to have internet connectivity on there, I have a little built-in wireless adapter. Before, with the first generations of Xbox 360s, you had to actually go out and purchase an additional $50 or $60 USB plug to have that capability of wireless internet. But now, you're not going to have to do that anymore. So I have the specs up on screen there, and I hope you guys enjoy this. If you have any questions or comments, leave it down below, and I'm going to Don't forget, subscribe to me, like, favorite, all that good stuff, because it helps out my channel and helps out you guys, because I'm going to be making videos like this again just in another week from now about the PlayStation 4. So thank you guys. Later.